Also, there's a couple other natural fibers that are used in corn brooms. One is Palmyra fiber, just like they use in the brush industry. Well, not just like, but Palmyra stalks. You don't see it that much. You don't see it at retail at all. But they primarily use Palmyra stalks. This is even stiffer than the bear grass is. It's typically used in railroad brooms, and there are some specialty markets for brooms with Palmyra fiber. In China, they'll use this to come up with their mixed fiber brooms, but it's really too expensive for them to be competitive with bear grass. There's another fiber I don't have an example of called African grass. This grows wild and is harvested in a small country that's within South Africa, Lesotho. We have not imported that for years, but they do use it in Mexico some, and it looks enough like broom corn that sometimes they can slip a little bit in their 100% broom corn brooms and get away with it. I have a few other comments on corn brooms and broom corn that you may or may not know. The broom corn brooms are handcrafted. A worker basically makes them one at a time, standing at a winding machine, feeding the broom corn under water. So they're practically works of arts, but the productivity, a typical broom winder will only make maybe 10 dozen to 20 dozen brooms a day. And after that, it still needs to be stitched and trimmed and so forth. That's a lot less than what you can get manufacturing plastic brooms. The other reason for, why do people use upright brooms that's corn or plastic versus, say, floor sweeps, fish brooms? Well, they're just a lot handier for getting into tight spaces, corners, and so forth. So that's one of the reasons there remains a market for upright brooms. The lightweight corn brooms, all 100% broom corn, those are terrific for smooth surfaces, for kitchen, for indoor. Heavier brooms, all corn or mixed fibers are terrific for larger areas, warehouses, driveways, decks, stuff like so forth. A lot quieter than a leaf blower. And of course, I mentioned here corn brooms can be works of arts. I'm not aware quite of anything like it in the mop or brush industry, but in this country there are hundreds of artisans, crafters, hobbyists who make fancy corn brooms. Corn brooms, they'll still sweep, but people hang them on the wall. They're works of art. You'll see them at places that's frequented by tourists like the Smoky Mountains or the Ozarks or stuff like that, but there's a whole craft industry for novelty brooms. And some of the brooms they make are gorgeous. Brooms are sometimes used in wedding ceremonies. Broom might be considered romantic. For you folks from up north, before curling switched to brushes and pads, curling brooms were traditionally made out of broom corn. And one last use for broom corn: duck hunters in the Plain States love using broom corn for duck blinds. And here's a few pictures here. There's some duck hunters getting ready to, waiting for the ducks. You notice the broom corn on top of them. This is what the ducks see from up there, but believe it or not, there are duck hunters who love this stuff. Now, I mentioned that brooms are handcrafted. Here's somebody winding a broom here, and you see they're feeding broom corn under the wire, and it's not quite like a high-speed brush machine. This is a picture, we mentioned novelty shops and the crafters. This is a picture from one of our customers' broom shops. You see a stitcher there and a lot of the brooms trimmed and untrimmed, hanging down. I might mention the other types of brooms out there, plastic brooms. Plastic brooms probably have 90% of the upright broom market these days, maybe even more than that, but it's a very high percentage, particularly at retail. The thing with plastic brooms, like brushes, they're much more automated. You get much greater productivity, hence their lower cost. That's why they're plastic. That's why they're so popular and sell so well. Most of the plastic, there's 3 types of plastics that the plastic brooms use there that are most common. We got polypropylene, PET, and PVC. Each one has their advantages and disadvantages. The PET in particular is often made from recycled water bottles, so it won't biodegrade, but you still can call it clean because it is post-consumer recycled material. The PVC fiber is an excellent fiber, but in particular some of the environmentalist groups are fighting the manufacture of PVC due to some of the pollutants that are given off during the process. And then polypropylene, that's kind of the original plastic fiber, and it's it's a good one too. And there's a typical plastic fiber broom, that's a PVC, and my favorite, the all-corn broom. Thank you very much.
I have one question. If a
Yes.
mop is made with bear grass inside, can it be sold as 100% broom corn?
Okay, Barbara. No, you're not supposed to sell it as 100% broom corn. You can call it an all-natural fiber. You can even call it a corn broom, I believe, but you can't call it an all-corn or 100% broom corn broom. It's not true to labeling if you call it all corn if it has some grass in it. And in fact, I even poked fun at the folks who are mixing African grass with broom corn and calling it 100% broom corn, because that's not 100% broom corn either. But you really got to know your stuff to be able to detect it. It tends to be a little bit darker green than broom corn, but it's really hard to detect. Yes, Carlos?
Is broom corn the only fiber in the world that has the characteristics on the tips of broom corn with the little whiskers on it? The only natural fiber that has that.
Of the natural fibers, perhaps some that are used in the paintbrush or brush industries, but I'm not aware of any. Certainly nothing used in the broom industry that I'm aware of. Now, on plastic brooms, typically they'll be flagged at the end to kind of create the same effect as the natural fibers on broom corn. The only problem with the flagging on the plastic brooms is that they'll load up and not release some of the dirt and grease easy. And so you can see this broom, I've only used it a few times around my office, and it's already starting to get discolored at the end. My recommendation is make your plastic brooms with black fiber. Although someone did tell me that people replace the tan fiber brooms faster because they'll look dirty quicker. So maybe there is a method for that. Anything else? Thank you very much.
Thank you.